Let's go over modernized testing for Class B school buses here in Oklahoma.
You are allowed to carry along the checklist, which is provided for you in the testing portion of your CDL manual.
Let's start with the passenger entry. We're going to make sure that the doors open and close from the outside. We're going to make sure there's no damage like broken glass and the seals are in good condition.
We're going to check our steps. Make sure it's a skid-free surface and that the tread's not loose or worn. We're going to check our step lights and make sure the lenses are present and they're not damaged or obstructed.
And we're checking our handrail, making sure it's not damaged and has no sharp edges. Moving on to our emergency equipment, we're going to check our fire extinguisher.
Making sure it is properly secured in the correct bracket. Making sure the pin is secure. Making sure that it's in the green showing it's full and it has its green tag. We're checking our emergency triangles showing that it's properly secured, and there's 3 of them.
Now we're going to check our first aid kit and our body fluid cleanup kit, let them know that they're both securely mounted, sealed, and fully stocked. And then I'll let the examiner know that this bus uses circuit breakers, so I do not have electrical fuses on board. Alright, now we're going to sit in the driver's seat. We're going to buckle up, seeing that our seatbelt is in good condition. Buckles appropriately. Now we're going to do our air brake check.
We're going to start with putting our key into the on position.
We're going to release the parking brake.
Stepping on the service brake, we're going to hold it for 1 minute.
We're going to watch our air pressure gauges, and we shouldn't lose more than 3 psi during this hold.
The next step is to pump the brakes and bleed off the remaining air pressure.
Our air pressure warning should go off at 60 psi. And then when it gets between 20 and 45 psi, our air brake should release. Then we're going to turn on the bus. And we're going to watch our air pressure. And we're going to make sure our governor cuts off between 120 and 140 psi. Now we're going to do our parking brake check. Making sure it's set. We're going to shift to drive. And then let's rev those RPMs. The parking brake should hold and the bus shouldn't move to the left or the right. Then we're going to release the parking brake. Then we're going to pull forward in a straight line. Letting go of the steering wheel, you're going to step hard on your service brake. And the bus shouldn't pull to the left or to the right. Repeat this step 1 more time. Set the parking brake, shift to neutral, secure the bus. Alright, and then we're going to go over our lighting indicators. When we turn the bus on, we'll let them know that the ABS light flashed. We're going to turn on our headlights. See if they came on. And then we're going to check our high beams indicator, showing that they're coming on. We're going to check our left turn signal. We're going to check our right turn signal. Check our hazards. Point out that our depth indicator is working.
Alright, then we're going to switch on our master switch and show that our amber warning light indicator is working. And then we're going to show that our red warning light indicator is working. While we're over here, we're going to show that all our defrosters and fans come on and are working. We're going to check our windshield, making sure it's clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, no illegal stickers or obstructions, and has good visibility. We're going to check our crossover mirrors, make sure they're securely mounted to the bus, make sure they're adjusted properly to observe students, and that they're clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks. We're going to check our flat and convex mirror, make sure securely mounted to the bus. We're going to make sure they're adjusted properly to observe traffic and blind spots, and make sure they're clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks. Our passenger mirror, make sure it's clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, securely mounted and adjusted properly so we can see the students. Check our windshield wipers, make sure they are secured to the bus, make sure they're not weather damaged and are in good condition. We're going to demonstrate that they turn on and are working, and that the fluid is spraying. Then we're going to demonstrate that our horn works. Beep, beep. Now we'll let the examiner know that we're going to do the external light check. We're going to ask them to step outside of the bus and watch as we demonstrate each working light. We're going to show that our clear headlights work and our amber running lights are on. We're going to show that our brights come on. Then we're going to show that our left turn signal comes on. We're going to show that our amber right turn signal comes on. Then we're going to show that our hazards both come on. Going over our amber clearance lights, going over our amber warning lights, and going over our red warning lights. Also checking our stop arms and seeing that the red lights are also working.
Then let's go to the back of the bus.
Here we can see that our red tail lights are working. We can see that our clear tag lights are working. We can see that our red brake lights are working. We can see that our left turn signal is working. Our right amber turn signal is working. We can see that our amber hazards are working. We can see that our amber warning lights are working. And we can see that our red warning lights are working. We see that our red clearance lights are working. Then on the side, we see that our red stop arms are working. Red lights. We can see that our clearance, our red, amber, and amber clearance lights are working. And over here, you can see that our amber turn signal hazard light is also working. As we come up, we'll show that our step well lights are working.
Now we're gonna go back and check our passenger items. Checking our passenger seats, we're gonna make sure there's no broken seat frames and they're firmly attached to the floor. We're gonna check our seat cushions, make sure they're securely attached to the seat frames. And we'd let the examiner know that we check them all the same way. We're gonna check our emergency exit windows. We're making sure that they're properly labeled, making sure that they open and close smoothly, and that the alarm sounds. Then we let the examiner know that we have 4 of them, and we would check them all the same way. Our rear emergency exit, making sure it's properly labeled, making sure that it opens and closes smoothly, and the alarm sounds. Then we'll turn off the bus and go back and turn off our child safety alarm. And now we're gonna move out to the external check of the bus.
All right, we're gonna start at the front and at the top and work our way down. We're showing that we got our amber clearance lights, we got our amber student warning lights, and our red student warning lights. Clear, no cracks, no breaks, no obstructions or condensation. And down here we've got our clear headlights, our amber running lights, and our amber turn signal hazard lights. All clear, no cracks, no breaks, no obstructions or condensation.
All right, then we're gonna get the hood opened up.
And over here we have our oil and transmission fluid. We would check them by pulling out the caps, wiping off the dipstick, sticking them back in and pulling them out to check the proper fluid level. And coming over here, we would check our power steering fluid. The cap is a dipstick, so you would pull it out, check it, make sure it's at the proper level. And then we make sure there's no fluid or air leaks. Making sure there's no puddles on the ground, making sure there's no dripping fluids on the underside of the engine or transmission, and inspect any hoses or air lines for their conditions and for any leaks. All right, now we're gonna check our steering system. We see that our steering box is securely mounted, not leaking. We're gonna check the hoses and make sure that the connectors are not cracked, worn, or leaking. We're gonna make sure that our arms, links, and rods connecting from the box to the wheel are not cracked or broken, and all the connectors are in good condition. Checking the rest of the steering system, making sure there's no missing bolts or cotter pins. Now onto our steering axle, we're going to check our tires, starting with the tread, making sure the steer tires have tread of 4/32, and all other tires would be 2/32. Make sure there's no cuts or damage inside the grooves. Check the inflation for a tire with a tire gauge. Make sure that our valve stems are not missing or damaged and they have their caps. Checking the sidewall, making sure there's no bumps, bulges, or damage. And we let them know if we were checking our rear dual tires to make sure that they were even and no mismatched space in between. All right, we're checking our rims, making sure there's no damage, they're not cracked or bent, bolt holes are not wobbly, there's no welding repairs and no rust that will indicate looseness or lug nuts, making sure that they're present, not missing, no rust or shiny metal that indicate looseness, and no broken studs. Checking our suspension. We're going to check our leaf springs and make sure that none are missing, shifted, broken, or cracked. Then we're going to check our leaf spring hangers and make sure that they're securely mounted and there's nothing missing, cracked, or broken. We're going to check our shock absorber, making sure it's securely mounted and that it's not damaged and not leaking. We're going to check our brake lines and hoses, because we want to make sure that they can supply air to the brakes and are not leaking. They're not cracked, worn, or frayed, and the couplings and fittings are secure. And then we check brake contaminants, making sure there's no grease, oil, or debris on the linings or the pads.
Moving to the side of the vehicle,
Our lens covers for our clearance lights. We got amber, and the back one's red. We got our amber turn signal light, and they're clean, clear, not missing or broken. We have our DOT reflectors, our amber, and our red, not peeling, damaged, or missing. We got our traffic monitoring devices, making sure the brackets are secured to the bus, nothing's missing, and the mirror faces are clean. We got the crossovers and our flat and convex mirrors, all securely mounted to the bus. Right. Checking our battery box, make sure the door opens and shuts is secure, and make sure our pin's good, make sure all the connections are good, no signs of corrosiveness or damage. Make sure that our stop arms, the front and the back, are securely mounted to the bus, no missing or damaged parts, and is in good condition. On to the other side, we're going to check our fuel and def, so we'll make sure the door for the def open and closes. It's got its cap, hand tight, and is tethered. Go check our fuel door for the same, opens and closes. Cap is hand tight, and it's tethered on the inside. Over here, we're going to take a look down, and we're going to check our frame, making sure it's securely mounted with no cracks, bends, dents, or welds. And then we're going to finish at the back of the bus. We're going to start at the top, and we have our red clearance lights. We have our red student warning lights and our amber student warning lights. All right, then we have our amber turn signal hazard lights. We've got our red brake lights. We've got our clear backing lights. We've got our red tail lights and our clear tag lights. And all of our lights are clean, clear, no cracks, no breaks, no condensation or obstruction. And last but not least, your two red reflectors.